to pins and things! Today we're going to be making this Jedi cloak. This is the pattern that I was able to find online, and I just found it on Pinterest, and I will put a link in the description below. But it's all drawn out and measured. I would definitely suggest using pattern paper for this, because it's a lot harder when you don't have it. Now all I need to do is cut it out. This is for my husband, so I've measured from right here to the end of the sleeve is from right here to his middle finger, from his neck to his middle finger, with 5 inches added on for mistakes that could be made and for the hem. The second measurement that we took was from the back of his neck, right where his shirt collar would be, all the way down to the floor, and that is from here to there with about 5 inches added on for mistakes and the hem. So right here is the cutout for the neck, and then over here is the sleeve, and here is the part that goes all the way to the floor, and then that part is for the hood. So I've taken my pattern and I've laid it out. Then I've taken the material and laid it out to the same length with the material folded here at the top. It's not cut or anything, it's just folded over at the top, and that's where we want the fold to be on the sleeve. So we're gonna leave that like that and finish cutting this to the right length. Now that my material is all laid out, I'm just pinning down the pattern on top of it. Now that it's all pinned down, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out my pattern. These are fabric scissors that I love, and they're Ginger from Italy, and they're super expensive, but they're only for fabric, and they look at how smooth it's like butter. It's so nice. I have my other fabric laid out here so that I can cut out 2 of these. So we're gonna need 2 of these, the ones that are folded over. Now that it's all cut out, you can see that it's not attached together down here, but over the top, it's just folded, so it's one big fold like that. Here's the hood. It's all cut out, and it's just exactly almost the same way. It's connected in the top, but then it's just folded over, and down here is where we're going to connect it to the cloak. So here is our one side of the robe. What I'm gonna do is unfold it. Here's the neck hole, and this part is the sleeve. On the robe, you can see the shoulder, there's a little bit of a tuck. Here is the side that's already done. So to make this tuck, this is what we're gonna do. After measuring Michael's shoulder, so I'm making this for Michael, it is 7 inches from the neck to where the shoulder drops off. So I'm measuring, if you can imagine, this is the sleeve right here that I'm standing on, 7 inches. I'm just using this in place of a yardstick. This is all I could find. I couldn't find a yardstick. So this will be the top of the shoulder right here. From there, I want to go on either side and just make sure that it's the exact same measurement on either side. And it is. This is exactly 5 inches just by accident, but that's exactly how big I want the tuck on the shoulder to be. By holding that down exactly where it's at, I want to pull the whole sleeve over and through without moving it underneath. And now I'm just gonna pin at the top, so 5 inches. So now that I've pinned 5 inches up and just the length of the board underneath, I'm just taking out the board so I don't pin it in there forever. Fold everything over till it's flat, and I'm going to measure 10 inches from the end here. From here, I'm going to take my measuring tape and I'm just going to make a line from right down here. So now I'm just going to take my measuring tape from right at this pin from the 10 inches, and I'm going to bring it up to this pin right here. Basically, I'm only using that as a line so that I can pin the rest of the fold. Okay, so now you can see that I have it pinned all the way across, and right here it's 5 inches across from all this area right here, and then it tapers down all the way to nothing at about 10 inches right there. And next, all I need to do is stitch along that line. At this point, I'm just making sure that I'm doing the exact same thing to both sides of the robe. Basically, right now I'm playing dot to dot. I'm just connecting one dot to the next, one pin to the next. This is how it looks now that I've stitched that part. Now I have both my pieces laid out next to each other, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this one on top of the other one. And why I'm doing this is so that I can line up this seam right here and stitch it up. But I am only stitching on one side at this point. And I am just making sure that it's lined up perfectly and pinning it. At this point, everything that I've done has been exactly the same to both sides. But now it won't be, because we're putting it together as one big robe. And it's all all pinned. Now I'm going to stitch along the back hem with a 1-inch hem. Now I'm taking one side of the hem and cutting it short. I'm going to do that all the way up the back seam. I've cut this one short, and now I'm just folding it over just like that, and taking my iron and ironing it flat. And now that it looks super nice and straight, I'm gonna go ahead and stitch along that hem. At this point, this is what we've got. I'll try it on even though it's gonna drown me. It's not stitched together on the sleeve, and to do that, I'm going to flip it the opposite direction. So flip it inside out from how we want it to be when we're done, and pin the sides together. And this seam is the one that goes underneath the arm and down to the floor. And remember, I'm pinning it inside out right now so that the seam is on the inside and not on the outside. This is actually the first time ever making this, or even attempting to make it. So this is pretty exciting. I hope it turns out great. Woohoo! Look at me. I'm a Jedi, and I'm way too short for this. So this, I've just finished doing the inside seams. You can see it's bunching on the other side bad. But when you snip it on the other side, it lays the right way. That's what I did here. And then I just went ahead and finished the seams. The only thing that I have left to do now is the hood here, and probably hem the bottom just to make sure that it doesn't fray. But I want to do that once I have my husband here so that I can make sure that I do it at the right height. Our hood is so easy. The top right here is still connected together. It's just folded. The cut starts right here and goes down to here. This will be where it's attached to the robe. This is the front where our face will be coming out like that. So for the hood, I'm gonna stitch up where you can see where the pins are. Focus. It's me! Okay, this is the hood. It looks really long, but what this is gonna do is we're gonna take the bottom. It's gonna be up here. So it's gonna be a really nice hood. And I just finished the seam here. It looks way big, but once it gets put on the cloak, it's gonna look really good. In attaching the hood to the rest of the cloak, this part right here is 49¼ inches, and then this part right here on the top of the cloak by the neck is 27 inches. So we're gonna have to scale this down a lot by giving it some pleats in the back, and that's what we're gonna do next. So fast forward to the next day when my husband is awake so I can try it on him. I've already pinned the hood on one side. And what I did first was I took the middle seam of the hood and the middle seam on the back of the rest of the cloak, and I lined them up so they line up perfectly. And I pinned that right there. So after it's pinned in the middle, I'm gonna pin the end together. So for 4 inches, I'm just gonna keep it without any folds. The next part is actually really easy, but it's gonna make it look super good. I'm just figuring out where the middle is of each of these, and I'm pulling them together and pinning them. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing I just did again. Put them together and pin it. All of the folds on this side are pointing towards the middle of the back of the cape, so I'm gonna do the same on this side. This is what I have, and I am just folding it towards the back of the hood and pinning it, and doing that with all of the rest of them. Ta-da! It's all pinned. And now we're just gonna start sewing. So to finish it off, I attached the hood, and then I hemmed the inside edge. I had Michael try it on. He is way taller than me, as you can tell, as it's like dragging on the floor, and I look like a little kid. In the tutorial that I followed, it said to have a lot longer sleeves so that you can roll it over and make a 5-inch hem on the inside, which is what his jacket has. But my material wasn't that long. I think he bought extra wide, so this is what we ended up with, but it's actually the perfect length anyway, and so we're just not gonna have the extra seam, and that's okay because it works out perfectly. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can also follow me on the beach house if you want to see more of this handsome Jedi, my husband. Click over there to see all of our other Star Wars tutorials, and we will see you guys next time. The rest of the Jedi costume will be coming very soon.